Hey, May. It's been over a whole month now since you and I got back from our honeymoon trip. How much longer are you planning to stay locked in that room and continue to ignore me in any attempts I make at contacting you? At this point, you're just wasting our time as newlyweds. I can see that you're reading all of my messages, May. Well, listen, May. You know that my job is filled with me having to go on business trips and whatnot, and starting today, I'm going to have to head overseas for 2 months. I really do feel bad that ever since you and I got married, our time that we can spend together has become pretty scarce. But you and I did talk about that before marriage, and you even said that you'd be fine with a life like that for a little while, right? But from what I've seen so far, anytime that I'm gone, you come out of the room to live a normal life by yourself. And when I'm back home, you lock yourself in there and waste a little time we could be spending together. If you were feeling sick and needed your time alone, I can understand this, but if this has something to do with something deeper, you are more than free to go talk with someone about it. But I seriously don't think hiding in that room every time I'm home is a good thing for us. If you're not going to do something to change that, then I'll have to start thinking of something. When I get back from this next trip, let's you and I talk this all out. Now I'm going to start carrying my bags and out to the car, and I'll be going.
Landon! Just as I told you before, Stan left today on his next business trip, so you can start heading over here.
Hi, May.
I think he's just boarded the plane and will no longer be able to talk with me or come back home. So you don't have to worry about him getting in our way.
So he should be out of the country for around 2 months, right?
Yep. 2 months is how long he'll be gone for. And so, for the next 2 months, there'll be nobody in our way.
You are all mine again, May.
I sure am. And you can do whatever you want with me.
Let's go. I'm going to start heading over to your place right now. I'm going to treat you even better than any of our previous times together. So you better be ready for me.
Yes, Daddy!
Hey, Stan. I think the last time you and I chatted was back at our last high school reunion, right? Landon. I'm glad that back then we had the chance to trade our contact information with one another. What do you want with me right now, Landon? Right now I'm overseas for work, so I don't have a whole lot of time to talk. Ah, and that's what I've been hearing. I heard from May that you won't be back for the next 2 months, correct? Huh? Why are you talking with my wife? That shouldn't matter to you right now. And you already know that for a long time now. I've talked with May on and off. For a long time you have? Wait, you both knew about each other before even I began to have relations with her? We've known each other forever, Stan. Well, ever since she entered high school with us. I see. Now that I'm starting to think about it, she was a grade below you and I. But you did happen to talk with younger girls there quite a lot. That's exactly right. And just so you're aware, May is my ex-girlfriend too. What? And that's why I still talk to her from time to time about her life. Is that so? Well, you don't seem too surprised by any of this, Stan? I'm a bit surprised by what I'm all hearing, but I'm well aware that she's dated other men before me and that sometimes those men will come back and talk with her. But those past relationships are no more, and she's only in love with me. Past relationships. In the past. Why do you keep saying it like that, Landon? Well, I'm just trying to figure out if you really understand the meaning of past or not, because from my understanding, that is regarding things that are no longer current. Huh? I have little idea what you're talking about, but when I talk about your guys' past relationship, I mean before her and I married each other. You see, well then let me take this chance to tell you something pretty amazing. And it's about May and I. When you and her were on your honeymoon after your wedding, she had a little time alone to go out by herself, and we ran into each other again by coincidence. We started to talk to one another for a little while about our past, and when it started to get late, she came back with me to my hotel room, and that's where things became current again. Huh? Oh, and by the way, Stan, I'm in your house right now, even while you're away, and this whole time I've been doing your wife, and you can do nothing about it. You're on the other side of the world at this moment, so you won't even be able to come stop me for the next couple days. Even if you tried your hardest to. Well, that's right, Landon. The work that I have to do overhead is something that only someone of my status can do. So I can't just get up and leave to head back home. You poor thing, Stan. Now I'm going to get back to making out with May on your couch, and then we'll move things right back into your bed where things can really heat up. Wait, Maybe this time I'll try doing her on the kitchen counter instead. See ya. May, it should be morning over there right now, right? I'm sure that you've already heard about this from Landon, but he's told me about how you and him used to have a relationship with each other, with one another a while before we got married, right? But what's even crazier is he's told me that while we were on our honeymoon, you ran into and reignited the fire your relationship once had, and have been doing romantic things with him on the bed and all over the house, right? At first, I didn't know if this was just him trying to mess with me and get me all worked up over nothing or not. But when I received a lot of photos of the two of you together all around town and at our house, it was confirmed that you were with him right now while I'm not there. I'm sure that you might freak out a little about this news from me, but don't worry because I won't be coming back home until I'm finished with all my work over here. But while I'm not there, where I can do something about you, please take some time to think about all the damages you're causing right now.
Daddy, have you finished getting whatever you needed from the gas station?
I have, and I'll be back home for you in a little bit here, darling.
Well, hey, Daddy, listen right now. Right now, I've been getting some texts from Stan.
Really? What did that loser have to say to you?
He told me that he's planning to stay overseas until he finishes all his work before he attempts to come back here. And then he told me to think about all the damages I'm causing by doing this with you. But, like, who cares what he says, right?
What's up with him? I'm sure he's trying to make himself sound cool or something, but I'm sure he's spinning in circles trying to figure out what to do right now about us. He's better off just running from the truth at this point.
Right? What a loser Stan is. And when you compare a loser like him to a hunk of a man like you, Daddy?
Hell yeah. I'll be home really soon here, darling. And I can get back to rearranging your insides for you.
I'll be getting myself cleaned up for you, okay?
That's what I've been wanting to tell you. So I'll let you know all of this right now before I get back to my work. Ever since I've started working a full-time job and have gotten out in the world a bit more as an adult, I've heard a few things about Landon, and the things I've been hearing about him haven't been very good things. So if you plan on continuing things with that guy, you better start looking into him a bit more and learning about what he's all about before he becomes too invested in you. And of course, before you become too invested in him. Well, I'm not even sure if you'll be willing to listen to the warning I'm giving you now, but at this point, I'm sure you don't care about me anymore anyway, right? May, I am back in the States now. I was able to touch down just this morning at the airport, and have been around here ever since, actually. Right. I probably shouldn't be caring about something like this anymore, but I've been adding up the time you've been completely ignoring me and never responding to my texts. And as of today, it has been a while, 3 months. And it's not like you've been ignoring me only when I'm out of the house or at work, but all the time. Even when I want to go to bed, you never come into our room to sleep with me or anything like what normal couples do after getting married. And so because you neither want to talk with me or even be around, there's really no point in us being married any longer. And another thing, as for what Landon was saying about him being with you while I was gone, I know the truth and have all those photos of you two together as evidence. So I think that I'm fine with the both of us getting a divorce now.
You're going to finally divorce me?
I never actually thought that you'd ever respond to my texts again. I'm shocked, May.
So you really are going to get a divorce from me now, right?
I'm going to make sure to get a settlement from you as well, May.
Having to pay you a small settlement to leave me won't be a problem at all. When I have a rich man like Landon around me, there's nothing that he can't afford that'll make the two of us happy. And my parents will also be willing to pay that off for me. To see that I'm happy with Landon, the man I really love.
I never knew that Landon finally came across a lot of money recently. How did that end up happening for him? Did he win the lottery or something and make off with millions?
Oh, come on now, Stan. Just by looking at a man like him with all that style and the talk he talks, he's gotta have a ton of money. Yeah, I'm probably going to be looked down on for doing this so suddenly. But after you leave me, him and I are going to be getting married. And I'll know for sure that this time I'll actually love my husband.
I've made sure to leave the divorce papers inside the mailbox for you.
Really? I'll get them signed and then take them to the city office right away. Oh, I've signed all those papers, and they're now in the hands of the lady at the front desk. I'm gonna have to wait a little bit to have this marriage with Landon, but after a few months, I'll make sure that he's mine forever. I can't wait.
Good luck marrying that man and all of the debt he's drowning in.
Huh? What debt?
Landon, I'm sure that you've already heard about me from May, but I'm back here in the U.S. Ah, that's right. I don't really mind that you're back here closer to us all now. But this house down belongs to May and I, and this is where I've been laying pipe with her for months now. I'm having a moving company and some of my friends come over there later to get all of my things together and out of there. But in the meantime, you should change the name on that place to yours since you're still going to have to pay the rent on that place from now on. Oh, sure thing. So, what the hell are you going to do now that you've lost both your wife and your house to me? Well, I'll start by heading back to my parents' house for a little bit. But Landon, I've heard from May that you're going to be marrying her, right? That's exactly right. She just got back a little bit ago from the city office where she handed them you guys' divorce papers and is waiting to learn that they've all been processed. Well, just so you're aware of this, I'm going to make sure to get a settlement from you guys. Yeah, whatever you say, man. Whatever you ask us for won't be a problem at all. It will be paid to you in like no time. You know, all May has to do is go ask her parents for some more money, and they'll make sure to pay you in one lump sum payment. What? May's parents will be paying me? From what I've been told by her, her parents are loaded with cash and have all kinds of assets they make money from. Oh, perhaps you haven't been told this yet then. Told about what? The company had been having a rough time making money for a while, and nobody within the company could make up a plan to get it back on its feet. So in the end, a much larger company came along offering some money to buy out the place from her father, and that's what ended up happening. And as for May's father, who used to be a CEO before the merging of his company, seems to no longer be able to do his job well enough within the company, and actually right now is only working as a base level employee within that larger company making a small salary. Huh? And before long, I'm sure he'll be fired from that place. By the way, as a little side note, that company that ended up buying her father's company and merging with it is a company that I'm currently working for as a highly paid manager. What the hell? Well, considering all you care about is playing around with another woman all the time and running from your many debts, you're going to have a tough time paying off the settlement I asked for. Why do you know about the debt I'm in right now? Well, while I was overseas getting my work done as a manager, I had someone look into you and May a bit more for me. And they were not only able to provide me with a lot of photos of the two of you together, but with a whole background of what you've been going through. You had someone stalk me is what you're saying? Not stalk you, but rather investigate the two of you. Anyway, after finding all this out, I had tried to warn May to look into you a bit more before making her final decision to stay with you. And now you're going to drag her down with you. But none of that matters to me now, as all I really need is the money I'll be asking for. Now, I'll be leaving the rest of this in the hands of my lawyer. And don't you try running away from me or the money I asked for. Yo, May, what the hell is all of this crap I'm learning about with your father's companies being bought out and him no longer being a CEO of Jack? And worse than that, he's at the lowest position possible there now and will most likely be getting fired soon?
Huh? I want to know why the hell you're sinking in all of that debt you have, Landon. I was planning on having you be the one to pay off the settlement I have to pay to Stan. Oh, as well as helping me pay back the money I owe.
And I was hoping to have your parents pay off all my debt, as well as the money I'll be having to pay Stan here soon as well? Why the hell is this all happening to me?
I want to know the exact same thing, Landon. What the hell am I going to do now after getting stuck with a moneyless loser like you?
Stop talking about me like I'm the rotten one that lied about their parents.
Well, at least I never lied about my own money and about how much debt I'm in. Really, what the hell am I going to do about this?
I'm screwed now.
Stan! Hey, can you please start filling out some marriage documents for us again? I think what just happened between us was a huge misconception, and that you and I can start living together again. Let's get back to being husband and wife and give it another shot. Hey, Stan, where are you right now anyway? And actually, I think it's alright for you to come back to the house now and start living with me again. I'll make sure from now on, you're the only man that I let love me. And I'll do the same for you in return, okay? Hey, why are you ignoring me right now, Stan? You're not even leaving me on red right now either! Hey, please stop ignoring me, okay, Stan? I want the two of us to get back together again and start making a family!
Seeing that message from May, telling me to stop ignoring her and to make up with her, really put this whole thing into perspective for me. I wasn't even trying to ignore her at the time. Rather, I was just in the middle of work and didn't have my phone on me to see all her calls or texts. But seeing how frantic she was to get back together with me and want to talk, I knew that she was in trouble. When she finally got the news from my lawyer following all of this about the money I was asking for, she began begging her parents to help her pay, but they didn't have any money themselves to spare. And since she couldn't find any other help, she started down the same path as Landon and became neck deep in debt. As of now, the two of them are working together to fight through their battle against debt. But recently, they've started borrowing money from some seriously bad loan sharks. Because of that, they are now trying hard to make whatever money they can in as short a time as possible, even going as far as to prostitute themselves for money or do other very questionable things. But not even their will to work such terrible jobs was enough to save them, and soon those loan sharks started to come looking for them. And just like that, things caught up with them and they were both never heard from or seen ever again. Not even their own parents have a clue where they vanished to, and there's little hope that either one of them will be coming back.